Ladies and gentlemen, life is filled with moments where we fall. It's inevitable. We can do everything right, plan every step, follow the rules, and still, life can knock us down. We can strive for success, give our all, and find ourselves face to face with failure. And when that happens, it's tempting to ask, why do we fall? Why does life seem to have such a cruel way of bringing us down when we least expect it? What is the reason we experience these defeats and setbacks that often feel like the universe is conspiring against us? But here's the real question we need to be asking ourselves: why don't we stay down? Why do we get back up? Why do we push through the pain, the disappointment, the frustration? Because the truth is that falling in its many forms is not a setback. It's a necessary part of our journey to growth. Without those moments of falling, we can never truly understand what it takes to rise. The first thing to recognize is that falling is not failure, it's simply part of the process. You see, when we fall, we aren't being punished, we are being taught. Every time we fall, it's a lesson, an opportunity for us to learn more about who we are, what we truly want, and how badly we want it. Every time we stumble, we are given a moment to reflect, to adjust, to become better. Failure is not falling, it is staying down after we've fallen. So when we ask, why do we fall? The answer is simple: we fall to rise. We fall because without falling, there is no understanding of what resilience is. Without falling, we would never know the power of getting back up. The human spirit is designed for challenge. It is in our DNA to overcome. Every time we experience a fall, we are building something within us, a deeper sense of strength that is not shaped by what we've already done, but by what we've had to overcome. Each fall is an opportunity to gain new perspective, to develop a deeper sense of gratitude, and to unlock the parts of ourselves we didn't know existed. The pain of falling, as difficult as it may be, is the fertilizer for our growth. When we fall, we are planting the seeds for something greater to come. It's not about avoiding pain, it's about using that pain to propel us forward. Pain, when embraced, has the power to transform us into versions of ourselves we could never imagine. Think about the times when you've experienced hardship. Maybe it was a failure in your career, a broken relationship, or the loss of something you cared about deeply. In those moments, it might have felt like the end of the world. You may have wondered if you could ever get back on your feet. But now, looking back, don't you see that those struggles, those falls, were the moments that truly shaped you? They were the moments that gave you the courage to try again, to dig deeper, and to ultimately achieve something greater than you could have without the lessons learned during those falls. The truth is, we can't always predict when we will fall or how hard we will hit the ground. Life isn't always fair, and the road ahead is not always clear. There will be obstacles, challenges, and people who try to knock us off course. But there's one thing that no one can take away from us: our ability to get back up. This is the key to understanding why we fall to remind ourselves of the power we have within us to rise again. Every time we fall, we make a choice. Will we let the fall define us, or will we use it to fuel the fire inside us to keep going, to keep fighting for our dreams, our goals, and our futures? There's a great strength in falling. It's a moment when we are humbled, a moment when we realize we are not invincible, that we are vulnerable, and yet we are still capable. Falling is an invitation to be more than we were before, to be greater than the person who stumbled. It's also important to realize that falling doesn't have to mean going through it alone. Often we fall because we've tried to do it all on our own, thinking that we have to be strong, that we can never show weakness. But it's in those moments of weakness that we find the courage to reach out to others, to ask for help, to lean on those who care for us. Sometimes the biggest lesson of all is learning to accept that we don't have to be perfect, that we don't have to have all the answers. And it's in that moment of surrender, of allowing ourselves to fall and trust others, that we become stronger than ever before. Now imagine for a moment that you never fell. Imagine if you had never faced the challenges you've encountered in your life. You would never have the wisdom you have today. You wouldn't have the strength, the courage, or the drive to pursue the things you truly desire. Every setback, every struggle has prepared you for something bigger, something greater. When we fall, it's an opportunity to reset. It's a chance to reevaluate where we are and where we want to go. It's a chance to realign with our purpose and refine our vision. Falling is not a sign that we're on the wrong path. It's a sign that we are on a path that requires growth, patience, and persistence. Consider athletes who push their bodies to the limit. They fall, they stumble, they experience pain and exhaustion. But those falls, those struggles are what give them the ability to perform at their highest level. Every fall teaches them how to move differently, how to recover faster, how to strengthen their weaknesses, and how to become better than before. Life, too, is a journey of constant improvement. We fall so we can learn how to stand taller, run faster, and reach higher. Every time we fall, we are developing the very skills necessary to create a life of purpose, fulfillment, and success. But the real power of falling comes in the moment of decision after the fall. That's when we decide what the fall means. It's not about the fall itself, it's about how we choose to respond to it. We can choose to let it define us, or we can choose to redefine ourselves. We can choose to stay down, or we can choose to rise stronger and more determined than before. So ask yourself, why do we fall? We fall because it's through our struggles that we find our strength. We fall because it's through our pain that we learn the depth of our resilience. We fall because without falling, there would be no rise. And through every fall, we build the foundation for something far greater than we could ever have imagined. The most important thing is not how many times you fall, it's how many times you get back up. So when life knocks you down, don't ask why me, don't get stuck in the victim mentality. Instead, ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this to grow? And know that no matter how hard the fall, you have everything inside you to get back up stronger than before. Because in the end, falling isn't the end, it's the beginning of a new chapter of growth and transformation. So embrace your falls, learn from them, and let them be the catalyst that propels you toward greatness. Don't fear falling. Fear only staying down, because that is not who you are. You are someone who rises again and again. And that, my friends, is why we fall. Falling is not failure. It's an essential part of learning and growth. Each fall provides valuable lessons, opportunities to reflect, and a chance to become stronger. The true strength comes not from avoiding falls, but from rising after them. Each setback helps develop resilience, mental toughness, and the ability to face future challenges with more confidence. Pain from falling, though uncomfortable, is a catalyst for personal growth. It forces us to dig deeper, find strength we didn't know we had, and propel ourselves forward. The power lies in how we respond to falling. We can either let it define us negatively or use it to redefine ourselves and fuel our determination to rise and keep moving forward. Falling provides an opportunity to lean on others, ask for help, and recognize that we don't have to be perfect or invincible. It's in moments of vulnerability that we grow stronger, both individually and through connection with others. Falling is part of the growth process. It is something that every one of us experiences throughout our lives, regardless of who we are or where we come from. Life isn't a straight path, and it certainly doesn't follow a predictable trajectory. It is filled with twists, turns, and unexpected bumps along the way. And within those moments of difficulty, setbacks, and failures, there lies something incredibly important, the opportunity to grow. When we fall, we often feel as if we've failed. We may feel disappointed, disheartened, or even defeated. But in reality, falling is not a sign of failure at all. It's simply a part of the journey, a necessary step in the process of growth. Without those moments of falling, there would be no upward trajectory, no moments of rising, and no true sense of progress. Falling teaches us more about ourselves and about the world around us than any success ever could. When we fall, we have the chance to reframe our thinking, to reassess our goals, and to refine our approach. It is through the struggle of falling that we truly begin to understand what we want, why we want it, and how to achieve it. Every time we stumble, we learn more about our limitations, our fears, and our strengths, and with that knowledge, we are better equipped to rise again, stronger and wiser than before. Think about the great innovators, thinkers, and achievers in history. They all experienced failure. They all fell at some point in their journey. But what made them exceptional wasn't that they never fell. What set them apart was their ability to rise after falling. The key to their success wasn't in avoiding failure, it was in learning from it, adapting to it, and using it as a stepping stone toward even greater success. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He is known for inventing the light bulb, but what most people don't realize is that he failed thousands of times before finally creating a working model. He didn't see those failures as defeats. He saw each one as an opportunity to learn and grow. In fact, when asked about his many failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison understood something crucial. Every failure was simply another lesson in the process of growth. Falling is also part of the growth process because it helps us build resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after hardship, to recover from adversity, and to keep going even when things get tough. Without the experience of falling, we would never truly know what it means to be resilient. It is only in the face of difficulty that we can test our ability to persevere, to adapt, and to stay focused on our goals. Every time we get back up after falling, we strengthen our resilience muscle, which in turn makes us more capable of handling the challenges that lie ahead. Consider an athlete who pushes themselves to their limits. They fall, they stumble, they experience pain and exhaustion, but they don't quit. They rise again, push harder, and learn from their mistakes. They know that each setback is simply a part of the process, and that true progress comes from perseverance, not from perfection. Every fall they experience is an opportunity to fine-tune their skills, to learn new strategies, and to ultimately improve. The athlete understands that they will fall many times, but each fall brings them closer to their ultimate goal. This concept extends far beyond athletes or entrepreneurs. In our personal lives, falling also teaches us invaluable lessons. Think about a time when you faced a personal challenge, whether it was the end of a relationship, the loss of a job, or the struggle to achieve a personal goal. In those moments, it's easy to feel like we're failing or that we've made a mistake. But falling in these situations often opens us up to new possibilities. It forces us to examine our beliefs, our desires, and our values, and to reflect on the path we want to take going forward. When we fall, we often realize that what we thought we wanted may not be what we truly need. We might discover new strengths within ourselves that we didn't know existed. We might learn to let go of things that no longer serve us, making room for something better to come into our lives. The process of falling allows us to strip away the superficial and focus on what truly matters. It enables us to become more authentic, more aligned with our true purpose, and more connected to the world around us. Falling also teaches us humility. When we fall, we are reminded that we are human and that we are not invincible. We are reminded that we don't have all the answers and that we are constantly learning and evolving. This humility is an essential part of growth because it keeps us open to new ideas, new experiences, and new ways of thinking. Without falling, we might become complacent, thinking we have it all figured out, when in reality, the world is constantly changing and we must adapt with it. Moreover, falling is often the catalyst for transformation. Think of a time when you faced a major challenge or setback. Initially, it may have felt like everything was falling apart. But over time, you may have realized that what seemed like a disaster was actually an opportunity for growth. Sometimes we need to fall in order to break free from old patterns, old beliefs, or old circumstances that are holding us back. The fall forces us to let go of what no longer serves us, and in that process, we create space for something new, something better to enter our lives. The beauty of falling is that it opens up new possibilities. When we are knocked down, we are given a chance to reassess our path. We can choose to stay down, to wallow in self-pity, or we can use the fall as a springboard to rise higher than ever before. Falling gives us the opportunity to reconsider our goals, realign our values, and redefine our vision for the future. It forces us to get clear about what we truly want and why we want it. This process of reassessment and realignment is essential for growth. If we never fell, we might continue on a path that wasn't truly meant for us. We might chase goals that don't align with our authentic selves, or we might persist in situations that are draining and unfulfilling. Falling wakes us up. It forces us to pause, to reflect, and to make adjustments. In this way, falling becomes a powerful tool for personal evolution. In addition, falling reminds us that we are not alone. When we fall, we often find support from others who have been through similar experiences. Whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a community of like-minded individuals, we realize that others have faced the same struggles and that we are not isolated in our pain. The support we receive in these moments is invaluable as it helps us regain our confidence, heal our wounds, and find the strength to rise again. In conclusion, falling is not something to fear. It is not something to avoid. It is an essential part of the growth process, and without it, we would never truly understand the depth of our potential. Every fall brings with it the opportunity to learn, to adapt, to build resilience, and to grow stronger. It is through our falls that we discover who we truly are, what we are capable of, and how far we can go. So the next time you fall, don't see it as a setback. See it as a gift. a gift that will ultimately lead you to a better, stronger, and more fulfilled version of yourself. Resilience is built through setbacks. Life's challenges often seem insurmountable in the moment. They feel overwhelming, exhausting, and sometimes even crushing. When you face setbacks, it is natural to feel discouraged. You might even question why you keep pushing forward when everything seems to be going wrong. Yet it is these very challenges, these setbacks, that are the key to building resilience, the ability to rise again, to persevere despite adversity, and to emerge stronger than before. Resilience is not something we are born with. It is not an innate trait that some people possess while others do not. Resilience is a skill, and like any skill, it is developed over time, through experience, and through overcoming obstacles. The more setbacks we face, the more opportunities we have to develop resilience. Each challenge we encounter is a chance to strengthen our mental, emotional, and psychological fortitude. Think of a muscle in the body. In order for muscles to grow, they must be challenged, stressed, and pushed to their limits. When muscles are exercised beyond their comfort zone, they break down but then rebuild stronger and more capable than before. Similarly, resilience is built when we are pushed beyond our comfort zones, when we encounter obstacles that test our strength, when we are forced to rise above the difficulties that life throws at us. The setbacks we experience serve as the resistance that builds our resilience. One of the most important aspects of building resilience is the understanding that setbacks are not permanent. When we face a challenge, it can feel like the world is caving in. The pain of failure, loss, or disappointment can make us believe that we will never recover. But resilience is born from the understanding that no matter how difficult the situation may seem, it is temporary. The key is to persist, to keep going, and to trust that you will emerge on the other side of the setback stronger, wiser, and more capable than before. Every time you experience a setback, it forces you to confront your own limitations. It challenges you to examine what you are made of, what you truly want, and what you are willing to do to achieve it. Setbacks test your commitment to your goals, your purpose, and your vision for the future. In the face of adversity, you have a choice. You can either let the setback define you, or you can use it as an opportunity to redefine yourself. It is important to remember that resilience is not about avoiding setbacks altogether. In fact, setbacks are inevitable. Life will never be a smooth, uninterrupted path. There will always be obstacles, challenges, and moments of difficulty. What matters is how you respond to these setbacks. Do you view them as insurmountable barriers, or do you see them as opportunities for growth? When we embrace setbacks as part of the process, we begin to develop a mindset of resilience. Instead of fearing failure, we begin to see it as a stepping stone toward success. Instead of getting discouraged by obstacles, we view them as opportunities to learn, adapt, and improve. This shift in mindset is one of the most powerful aspects of building resilience. It changes the way we approach challenges, making us more proactive, more confident, and more willing to take risks. Moreover, resilience is not just about bouncing back from setbacks, it is also about learning from them. Every setback carries a lesson. Whether it is a failure in business, a personal loss, or a missed opportunity, there is always something to be learned. Resilience means that instead of allowing setbacks to break us, we allow them to teach us. We analyze what went wrong, what could have been done differently, and how we can apply those lessons moving forward. It is in these moments of reflection that we grow the most. When we fall short of our goals, it provides us with an opportunity to reassess our approach. Maybe we need to work harder, be more disciplined, or shift our perspective. Maybe we need to be more patient, more compassionate, or more flexible. The important thing is that setbacks encourage us to dig deeper, to look inward, and to find the strength to keep going. With each lesson learned, we become more resilient, more adaptable, and more prepared for future challenges. Another key element of resilience is the ability to stay focused on the bigger picture. When we face setbacks, it is easy to become fixated on the immediate pain or disappointment. We can become consumed by the failure, by the feeling of defeat. However, resilient individuals have the ability to zoom out and keep their eyes on the long-term goal. They understand that setbacks are just a small part of a much larger journey. By staying focused on the bigger picture, resilient individuals are able to maintain perspective. They understand that a single failure or setback does not define their entire journey. It is just one moment, one chapter in a much longer story. This ability to stay focused on the long-term vision helps to prevent setbacks from derailing progress entirely. Instead of allowing one obstacle to dictate the course of the journey, resilient people take setbacks in stride, using them as fuel to propel them forward. Resilience is also about adaptability. The ability to adapt to changing circumstances is crucial in overcoming setbacks. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks often arise when we least expect them. Resilient individuals are not rigid or inflexible in their thinking. Instead, they are able to adjust their plans, their strategies, and their approach in response to the challenges they encounter. They are willing to pivot, to try new things, and to take different paths in order to achieve their goals. Adaptability is a key component of resilience because it allows individuals to remain open to new opportunities even in the face of adversity. When things don't go according to plan, resilient people are able to stay positive, think creatively, and explore alternative solutions. Rather than feeling defeated, they view setbacks as an invitation to innovate and find new ways of achieving their goals. Building resilience also involves developing a strong support system. No one can face setbacks alone. It is important to surround yourself with people who believe in you, support you, and encourage you during difficult times. Resilient individuals are not afraid to ask for help, lean on others, and seek guidance when needed. They understand that resilience is not about being self-reliant at all times, but about knowing when to reach out for support. The right support system can provide the encouragement, perspective, and resources needed to navigate through setbacks. Whether it is family, friends, mentors, or colleagues, having a network of people who care about you can make all the difference when facing challenges. In times of difficulty, a strong support system reminds you of your strengths, your worth, and your potential. It is also essential to develop a sense of self-compassion during setbacks. Resilience does not mean being immune to disappointment or failure. It means recognizing that setbacks are part of the human experience and treating yourself with kindness when things don't go as planned. Instead of berating yourself for falling short, resilient individuals practice self-compassion by acknowledging their emotions and giving themselves permission to heal. This self-compassion allows individuals to move past their setbacks with greater ease and without the weight of guilt or shame. It encourages a growth mindset, one that recognizes that mistakes and challenges are simply part of the learning process. By being kind to yourself in moments of failure, you create the mental and emotional space needed to bounce back stronger. Finally, resilience is a continual process. It is not something that is built overnight or achieved once and for all. Every time you face a setback, you have the opportunity to build and strengthen your resilience. It is an ongoing journey, one that requires constant learning, adapting, and growing. The more setbacks you encounter, the more resilient you become. With each challenge, you become better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. As we go through life, we are inevitably going to encounter setbacks. It is impossible to avoid them completely, but it is how we respond to these setbacks that determines our future. Will we let them define us, or will we use them to build resilience and grow stronger? The choice is ours, and the more resilient we become, the more we realize that setbacks are not obstacles, they are opportunities for growth. By embracing setbacks as part of the process, we can build the resilience necessary to achieve anything we set our minds to. Pain is transformative. It is one of the most difficult experiences we encounter in life, and yet it is through pain that we often experience the greatest transformation. While we naturally seek comfort, ease, and happiness, pain has a unique ability to shape us in ways that nothing else can. Pain is not something that should be avoided or feared. Instead, it should be embraced as a powerful tool for personal growth, self-discovery, and transformation. When we experience pain, whether it is physical, emotional, or psychological, it forces us to confront our vulnerabilities. Pain strips away the layers of protection that we build around ourselves. It pushes us to face the things we have been avoiding or suppressing. It challenges us to examine our lives, our choices, and our beliefs. In this way, pain serves as a wake-up call, urging us to take stock of where we are and where we want to go. The initial reaction to pain is often to resist it. We try to escape from it, numb it, or distract ourselves from it. Pain can be uncomfortable, overwhelming, and intense, and it is natural to want to avoid it. But this resistance to pain only prolongs our suffering. True transformation occurs when we stop fighting pain and start learning from it. When we stop trying to escape and instead lean into the discomfort, we open ourselves up to the lessons that pain has to offer. Pain forces us to grow in ways that pleasure and comfort never can. It teaches us resilience, patience, and perseverance. When we are in pain, we discover the depths of our own strength. We learn that we are capable of enduring more than we ever thought possible. Pain reveals to us our inner resources, our capacity to heal, to adapt, and to rise again. But pain does not just teach us about our strength, it also teaches us about our weaknesses. Pain brings us face to face with the things that are holding us back. It shines a light on our fears, our insecurities, and the things we have been avoiding. But it forces us to confront our limitations and question the beliefs that have shaped our lives. This process of self-examination is uncomfortable, but it is also deeply transformative. When we allow pain to show us our weaknesses, we have the opportunity to make changes, to grow, and to become stronger versions of ourselves. In many ways, pain is the catalyst for change. It disrupts the status quo and forces us to reevaluate our priorities. Without pain, we might continue to live in complacency, unaware of the areas of our lives that need attention. But when pain enters the picture, it shakes us awake. It challenges us to make different choices, to take different actions, and to realign ourselves with our values and goals. There is a common misconception that pain is a sign of failure or weakness. In fact, pain is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs. But the reality is that pain is an integral part of the human experience, and it is through our pain that we often experience the most profound growth. Just as a seed must be broken open in order to grow into a plant, we too must sometimes endure pain in order to grow into the fullest version of ourselves. Pain can be a transformative force when we view it through the lens of opportunity. Instead of seeing pain as something to be feared or resisted, we can see it as a teacher. Pain teaches us about ourselves, about our capacity to heal, and about our ability to navigate the challenges of life. It pushes us out of our comfort zones and into new territory where we are forced to adapt and evolve. One of the most powerful ways that pain is transformative is in the way it deepens our empathy and compassion for others. When we experience pain, we develop a greater understanding of what others are going through. We become more compassionate, more patient, and more willing to offer support. Pain creates a shared experience, a connection between people that transcends the superficial differences that often divide us. Through pain, we learn to see the humanity in others and to offer them the kindness and understanding that we ourselves so desperately need when we are in pain. Another way in which pain is transformative is that it teaches us to let go. Pain often comes when we are holding on too tightly to something, whether it is a relationship, a job, an identity, or an old way of thinking. When we hold on tightly, we create resistance, and this resistance leads to suffering. Pain can serve as a reminder that sometimes we need to let go of what no longer serves us in order to make room for something new. It teaches us that attachment to things, people, or outcomes is often the source of our pain, and that true freedom comes when we release our grip and allow life to unfold as it will. Letting go is not easy, and it often comes with significant pain. But through this process of release, we are able to create space for healing, growth, and new opportunities. Pain teaches us that holding on too tightly can prevent us from moving forward. And that true peace comes when we surrender to the flow of life. This is where transformation happens, when we let go of what we thought we needed and make room for what is meant for us. Pain also has the ability to deepen our gratitude. When we experience hardship, we gain a greater appreciation for the things we might otherwise take for granted. We learn to value the simple joys in life, to cherish our health, our relationships, and the small moments that bring us peace. Pain helps us put life into perspective, reminding us that the things we often overlook are the very things that make life worth living. Through pain, we develop a profound sense of gratitude for the beauty and richness of life, and this gratitude becomes a powerful force for transformation. One of the most profound ways that pain transforms us is by helping us find meaning. When we experience pain, we often search for a reason behind it. We want to understand why we are suffering and what purpose it serves. It is in this search for meaning that transformation occurs. By reflecting on our pain and asking ourselves what we can learn from it, we give it a sense of purpose. Pain becomes a catalyst for deeper understanding, growth, and connection. It is through this process of seeking meaning that we begin to heal and evolve. Pain also teaches us the importance of self-care. When we are in pain, we become more attuned to our own needs. We learn to prioritize our well-being and take the necessary steps to heal. Pain teaches us that we cannot pour from an empty cup. It reminds us that in order to care for others, we must first care for ourselves. Self-care becomes a vital part of the healing process, and through this practice, we develop a greater sense of self-love and self-compassion. We learn to honor our bodies, our minds, and our emotions, and this respect for ourselves becomes a foundation for transformation. Furthermore, pain helps us develop a deeper connection with the present moment. When we are in pain, we are forced to slow down and pay attention to what is happening in the here and now. Pain demands our full presence. It forces us to focus on our breath, our thoughts, and our emotions in a way that we might otherwise ignore. Through this deep presence, we gain insight into the nature of our pain and the ways in which it is transforming us. Pain teaches us to be fully present in our lives, to appreciate the small moments, and to accept the impermanence of all things. The process of healing from pain is not linear. It is not a straight path from suffering to relief. Healing takes time, and it often involves setbacks, doubts, and struggles. But through this process of healing, we are continually transformed. Each step we take toward healing brings us closer to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Pain in this way becomes a teacher, a guide, and a catalyst for personal evolution. When we experience pain, it may seem as if the world is falling apart. We may feel broken, lost, or hopeless. But pain, when embraced and understood, has the power to rebuild us into something stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. It shapes us into the people we are meant to become, and it leads us toward the lives we are meant to live. Pain is transformative because it challenges us, shapes us, and ultimately leads us to a greater understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Through pain, we are reborn, and through that rebirth, we find strength, purpose, and meaning. Choosing to rise after a fall is one of the most empowering decisions anyone can make. It requires tremendous strength, courage, and an unwavering belief in oneself. Life will inevitably present us with challenges, disappointments, and setbacks. These moments can feel overwhelming, and it's easy to think that the fall we experience is the end of the road. However, rising after a fall is not just about overcoming a setback. It is about reclaiming your power, redefining your narrative, and deciding that you are not finished yet, no matter how hard the journey may seem. The fall, whether it is personal, professional, or emotional, can be a humbling experience. It exposes our vulnerabilities, our weaknesses, and the aspects of ourselves we might not want to acknowledge. It can make us question our worth, our abilities, and our future. When we fall, we are forced to confront our fears, doubts, and insecurities. It is easy in these moments to believe that we have failed, that we are not good enough, or that we will never be able to stand again. The weight of the fall can feel unbearable, and it may seem like there is no way to recover from the pain and disappointment, but it is exactly in these moments that we are presented with an opportunity, the choice to rise. Rising after a fall is not about denying the pain or pretending that everything is okay. It is not about pushing our feelings aside or rushing through the healing process. Instead, it is about acknowledging the pain, accepting the fall, and choosing to move forward despite the hardship. It is about understanding that the fall is just a moment in time and that the story is far from over. Rising after a fall requires us to find the strength to keep going, even when it feels like the world is pulling us down. It means making the conscious decision to not let a single setback define our entire journey. The decision to rise is not always easy. It involves confronting the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, and the fear of not being able to live up to our own expectations. But it also involves recognizing that the power to rise lies within us. The fall may have knocked us down, but it has not broken us. It may have slowed us down, but it has not stopped us. The power to rise comes from within, from our resilience, our determination, and our belief that we are capable of more than we realize. One of the most important aspects of rising after a fall is learning from the experience. When we fall, we have the opportunity to reflect on what went wrong, what we could have done differently, and what we can do better moving forward. Rising is not about ignoring the lessons that the fall has to offer. It is about using those lessons to grow stronger, smarter, and more capable. The fall is not a failure, it is a lesson, and each lesson brings us closer to our true potential. By choosing to rise, we are choosing to embrace the lessons that come with failure, and we are choosing to grow from them. It is important to remember that rising after a fall is a process, not a single event. It does not happen overnight, and it does not always happen in a straight line. There will be moments when you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. There will be days when the weight of the fall feels heavier, and you may question whether it is worth it to keep going. But it is precisely in those moments of doubt that the decision to rise becomes even more powerful. It is in those moments that you remind yourself that you are capable, that you have done hard things before, and that this fall, like all the others, will pass. The process of rising after a fall also involves forgiveness. Often we are our own harshest critics. We beat ourselves up over mistakes, missed opportunities, and falls that we believe were avoidable. But rising after a fall requires us to let go of self-blame and self-criticism. It requires us to forgive ourselves for our perceived failures and to understand that we are human. We all make mistakes, and no one is immune to the ups and downs of life. Forgiveness is a powerful tool for healing, and it is essential in the process of rising. By forgiving ourselves, we free ourselves from the weight of guilt and shame, and we create space for healing, growth, and renewal. In addition to forgiveness, rising requires us to find our inner motivation. It is easy to lose sight of our goals and dreams when we are faced with setbacks. The fall may make us question whether it is worth continuing the journey. But rising requires us to reconnect with our purpose, to remind ourselves of why we started in the first place. It is about rediscovering our why and allowing that to fuel our determination to rise again. Our goals, our dreams, and our passions are powerful motivators, and when we reconnect with them, we find the strength to keep moving forward. Rising also involves embracing vulnerability. When we fall, it is natural to want to protect ourselves, to hide our wounds, and to put on a brave face for the world. But rising after a fall requires us to be vulnerable, to admit that we are struggling, and to ask for help when we need it. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. It takes courage to show up in our most raw, authentic state and to let others see our struggles. By embracing vulnerability, we allow ourselves to heal more deeply, and we open ourselves up to the support, love, and guidance of others. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do after a fall is to lean on those who care about us and to allow them to lift us up. Another essential element of rising after a fall is perseverance. The road to recovery is often long and difficult. There will be times when the progress feels slow and the obstacles seem insurmountable. But perseverance is what keeps us going. Even when the going gets tough, it is the determination to keep putting one foot in front of the other, no matter how many times we fall. Perseverance is what allows us to rise again and again, even after multiple setbacks. It is the belief that no matter how many times we are knocked down, we have the ability to rise and keep moving forward. Rising after a fall also requires us to cultivate a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities, intelligence, and potential can be developed over time. When we fall, it is easy to think that we are not good enough or that we will never be able to succeed. But a growth mindset challenges this belief. It reminds us that failure is not a permanent state, it is simply a part of the process. Every fall is an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to grow. By embracing a growth mindset, we view each fall as a stepping stone on the path to success, and we understand that the more we rise, the stronger we become. In addition to a growth mindset, rising after a fall requires resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity. Resilience is the quality that allows us to keep going in the face of challenges, setbacks, and failure. It is the ability to maintain a positive outlook, to adapt to change, and to find solutions even in the most difficult situations. Resilience is what enables us to rise again, even when it seems like we've been knocked down for good. The more resilient we become, the more we realize that every fall is an opportunity to build our strength, to deepen our resolve, and to develop the grit necessary to achieve our goals. Ultimately, choosing to rise after a fall is an act of faith. It is the belief that no matter how many times we stumble, we can always get back up. It is the understanding that our worth is not defined by our setbacks or failures, but by our ability to continue to grow and to move forward. It is the belief that no matter how dark the days may seem, there is always hope for a brighter future. Choosing to rise is choosing to embrace the process, to trust in our ability to heal, and to believe that every fall is just a temporary detour on the road to success. The decision to rise after a fall is one of the most powerful choices we can make. It is the choice to take control of our story, to refuse to be defined by our setbacks, and to believe in our ability to rise stronger and wiser with each fall. No matter how many times we fall, the decision to rise is always within our reach, and it is always worth making. By choosing to rise, we reclaim our power, our strength, and our capacity to achieve greatness, no matter the obstacles we face along the way. We don't have to do it alone. It's one of the most powerful realizations we can come to in life. In a world that often pushes us to be self-reliant, to solve our problems, and to achieve our goals independently, it can be easy to fall into the trap of thinking we must handle everything on our own. However, the truth is that human beings are not designed to live in isolation. We are social creatures built for connection, collaboration, and support. We don't have to carry the weight of our burdens alone, and we don't have to face our challenges in solitude. There is strength and vulnerability in asking for help and in recognizing that we cannot do everything by ourselves. This doesn't make us weak or incapable. Rather, it highlights our humanity and our ability to build meaningful relationships with others. We are part of a greater whole. And as much as we may pride ourselves on independence, it is in our connections to others that we often find our greatest source of strength. The belief that we have to do everything alone is often rooted in societal expectations and individual pride. From a young age, we are taught to be self-sufficient, to take care of ourselves, and to handle our problems without relying on others. There's an inherent pressure to be strong and capable, to prove to the world that we can manage our own lives. While these qualities are admirable and important in their own right, they can also become limiting. When we convince ourselves that we must do it alone, we deny ourselves the support, guidance, and love that others can offer. We distance ourselves from the very people who can help us grow, heal, and succeed. This mindset of isolation can manifest in various aspects of our lives. In our careers, we may think that asking for help or leaning on others makes us less competent or less valuable. In our personal lives, we may believe that opening up about our struggles makes us appear weak or needy. The truth is, no one has it all figured out. We all face challenges, and none of us are immune to the ups and downs that come with being human. It's not a sign of weakness to need support. It's a sign of strength to recognize when we need it. When we allow ourselves to ask for help, we open up a world of possibilities. We invite others into our lives and give them the opportunity to share their wisdom, experience, and support. By reaching out, we not only make our burdens lighter, but also create opportunities for growth, connection, and collaboration. The people around us, our family, friends, colleagues, mentors, and even strangers have valuable perspectives and skills that can help us navigate life's challenges. We can learn from their experiences, gain insight into our own struggles, and receive encouragement when we feel like giving up. Furthermore, asking for help doesn't have to mean relying on others for everything. It's not about giving up our independence or becoming entirely dependent on someone else. It's about recognizing that we don't have to do it all by ourselves. There's a balance to be struck between independence and interdependence. We can still make our own choices, set our own goals, and take responsibility for our actions while also allowing others to support us in the process. The act of asking for help is not a sign of incompetence. It is an act of wisdom and humility. It's a recognition that we are all in this together and that none of us can achieve success in a vacuum. The people we surround ourselves with play a significant role in our ability to thrive. We all need a network of support people who encourage us, believe in us, and challenge us to be our best selves. Whether it's a close-knit circle of family and friends or a broader network of colleagues and mentors, these relationships are vital to our success and well-being. They provide us with the emotional, mental, and sometimes physical resources we need to move forward. When we allow ourselves to lean on others, we not only help ourselves, but also give others the opportunity to grow through their own acts of kindness, support, and collaboration. This idea of not having to do it alone also extends to the importance of community. A strong sense of community can be a powerful force in our lives. Whether it's through shared values, common goals, or mutual support, a community can provide a sense of belonging, connection, and purpose. Communities in all their forms are essential for personal growth and success. They offer us a sense of safety, knowing that we are not isolated in our struggles. When we belong to a community, we can share our challenges and triumphs with others who understand and empathize with our experiences. In return, we can also offer our own support to those around us, creating a cycle of encouragement and collaboration. Asking for help and relying on others doesn't just benefit us, it also benefits the people we reach out to. When we allow others to help us, we give them the opportunity to be of service, to offer their expertise and kindness. Helping others fosters a sense of connection and purpose. It gives people the chance to contribute to something greater than themselves. In fact, many of us find great fulfillment in helping others, and when we allow others to support us, we create an environment where everyone can thrive. It's also important to recognize that support doesn't always come in the form of direct help. Sometimes simply being able to share our struggles with someone who listens can be incredibly powerful. There's healing in having someone to talk to, someone who doesn't judge us but instead offers a safe space to express ourselves. Emotional support, empathy, and understanding are some of the most valuable forms of help we can receive. When we open ourselves up to others, we invite them into our world and allow them to walk alongside us in our journey. We also don't always have to look for support in the same places. Often we may feel like we need to turn to family or close friends for help, but in some cases we may find support in unexpected places. There are countless resources available to us, from professional counseling and therapy to support groups, online communities, and even self-help books or podcasts. The key is to remain open to the different ways that support can show up in our lives. Sometimes a fresh perspective or new connection can provide the guidance and encouragement we need to move forward. There's also a great deal of strength in the acknowledgement that we don't have all the answers. When we admit that we don't know everything, we open ourselves to learning. No one has all the knowledge, and no one is perfect. The willingness to seek guidance and support allows us to grow and evolve. It reminds us that it's okay not to have everything figured out, and that the process of learning, growing, and asking for help is a natural part of life. The pursuit of knowledge and understanding is never a solitary journey, and by embracing the help and expertise of others, we become wiser and more well-rounded individuals. Another aspect of not having to do it alone is realizing that we all have unique strengths and abilities. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to life's challenges, and everyone brings something different to the table. Each person we encounter has their own experiences, knowledge, and talents that can enrich our journey. By sharing our struggles and successes with others, we allow them to offer their unique perspectives and skills. Whether it's a different way of thinking, a fresh idea, or a different approach to a problem, the contributions of others can enhance our own journey and help us navigate obstacles more effectively. But beyond seeking help, we also have to learn to receive it. Some of us may find it difficult to accept support from others, either out of pride, fear of vulnerability, or a belief that we don't deserve help. However, being open to receiving help is just as important as being willing to ask for it. By accepting help, we affirm our worth and allow others to show their love and care for us. We also create a space for generosity and kindness to flow both to and from us. Allowing others to help us is an act of trust, and it deepens our connections with those around us. The most profound lesson in all of this is that we are never truly alone. Even in our most challenging moments, we are connected to others. We are part of a larger web of humanity, all of us navigating the same journey. No matter how isolated we may feel at times, there is always someone who understands, someone who cares, and someone who is willing to walk alongside us. By allowing ourselves to embrace the support of others, we create a foundation for success, healing, and growth. We recognize that we don't have to do it alone, and in doing so, we give ourselves the opportunity to thrive. It is through the relationships we build, the help we offer, and the support we accept that we find the strength to face whatever challenges life presents. Together, we are stronger and we can achieve more than we ever could on our own.